the sight of people. Good morning. My people braved boats over angry seas, risked everything, giving life to me, left the home they'd known for a stranger's shore, hope and hunger for one chance more. Irish blessings and American wakes, glasses raised to the hearts that break, gathered at the door to see them go. Of the rest of their lives we'll never know. Hold on tight, storms on the ocean. Hold on tight, storms on the ocean. Hey, break through the door slammed in your face with the love that remains. Left behind, left behind. Forever changed in my heart and mind of all their prayers and desperate dreams. Left behind, forever changed once you cross that line. The great divide that lies between the leaving and the left behind. Coyote howls in the Mayan night. A boy in the shadows slips from sight. The pocket in his belly is his only chance at someone else's promised land. 1 foot down in front of the other. 1 foot down in front of the other. Hey, climb the wall rising in your face with the love that remains. Left behind, left behind. I never let go in my heart and mind of all their prayers and desperate dreams. Left behind, forever changed once you cross that line. The great divide that lies between the leaving and the left behind. The leaving and the left behind. Newborn face in the morning sun, another journey has just begun. But time is a river and the river flows through a mother's love toward the letting go. Don't turn back even if you want to, can't turn back even if you want to. Hey, the way ahead is yours to claim with the love that remains. Left behind, I never let go in my heart and mind of all their prayers and desperate dreams. Left behind, forever changed once you cross that line. The great divide that lies between leaving and the left behind. Leaving and the left behind. The leaving and the left behind. Leaving and the left behind. Leaving and the left behind. Good morning, friends. It is a perfect day today. It is a perfect day today to talk a little bit about the reel of the season. I'm going to be a little confessional here this morning. This is not my favorite time of the year, not because I don't love all of the things about Christmas and the Yule log and the tree and all of the rest of it, but because they don't do enough to hold back the gray of the days and the short of the days and the long of the nights. There's something that seems to me completely the opposite of divine about 37 degrees and rainy, day in and day out. It's not my jam. And I have to say, it wasn't all that long ago when I realized, there are other people like me in this world who find that November sucks. I grew up in New England, and let me tell you, November in New England is sort of this like kind of waiting room for purgatory. It's not even purgatory. It's like the waiting room knowing that you're going to purgatory. It isn't until the snow starts to fly and lays on the ground and reflects every bit of light back at us tenfold. At this time of year, it's when the moon is beaming through my living room window right there while I'm sitting by the Christmas tree. That is the only light that really seems to make some semblance of a difference. So this whole notion of the inward winter dares to bloom comes from my own journey, my own struggle of trying to figure out exactly how do I get to this point from the bare skeletons of the trees to when there's actually some snow on the ground and the days get longer. And I will say this, I have learned to find beautiful things in the gray. I have learned that what I need on days like today is to have seen beautiful things, to have taken a moment in joy and awe, to look from, say, Skyline Drive, which is not terribly far from home, out over the valleys, even in their nakedness of leaves, and appreciate the blueness of their grandeur. So this morning, let me start by warding off a little of that pre-winter chill with a moment. For all too many of us, this time of year exacerbates things. Perhaps things that we struggle with the rest of the year and can't ignore quite so much in the season of SAD, as it's known. Seasonal affective disorder is a rather real thing in my family. I learned it from the best, my dad. I have learned a lot about the fact that the brain is yet another organ in our bodies which requires maintenance, care, and occasionally grace. Before this pandemic started, it was estimated some 20 million Americans suffered from some form of depression. I can only imagine unempirically that number has probably gone up quite a lot. Some mornings this time of year can feel like, for a lot of people, sort of like the showdown at the OK Corral, and we already know how it's going to turn out. Know this: at that hour of the morning, when you're alone with your racing thoughts, you are not alone. In my hour of darkness, before the morning light, that's when the demons stalk me in the dying night. For all their rage and anger, fuel flame in my fear, drive a man to desperation from the doubt that he hears, and I crumble like stone into sand. Life blows like dust from my hand. The showdown approaches at high noon desert sun. On the barren plains of truth, ain't nowhere to run. To say if a man should wander long enough in the heat, and he survives its solitude, his soul he'll meet. And I crumble like stone into sand. Life blows like dust from my hand. The final hour is upon me as twilight claims the sky. To darkness I surrender, for no peace I'll find. So dig my grave gently upon a tall tree hill. Though my body's lost the battle, no, my soul never will. And I crumble like stone into sand. Life blows like dust from my head, and I crumble like stone into sand. Life blows like dust. Thank you. You really don't want to let me put that back on there, do you? I'm going to live with all of the various different technical things that I am doing for myself clumsily this morning, knowing that there's plenty of grace to be had here among you this morning. So, we've probably all heard something about light therapy. I'm a big fan of light therapy, but maybe not the kind that you might be thinking of. I just love to see the Christmas lights, the moonlight, the street lights. There's a neighborhood in our little town. My village is just south of a fairly decent sized town. And there are neighborhoods that sort of like do it all together. And I used to kind of chuckle at the inflatable snowmen and all of that kind of stuff on the lawn. I'm like, no, you know what? You're good. You're lighting the place up. I'm gonna take that in the spirit intended, the spirit of joy in the season. For me, the light really matters. So many of you may remember that my ancestors hijacked my music career a few years ago, and it wound up not abating until I had written a book as well as recorded an album about them. One of the things that happened during that whole crazy journey was that my parents took a DNA test, and the things that we learned along the way made them both want to go back to the land of their ancestors, which was Ireland and Scotland. And my dad said, I'll pay for it, but it has to be you and your sister, only the four of us. Leave your families at home. One last great nuclear family vacation. That sounds good, Bob. Maybe. Did my sister and I just sign up to spend 16 days in a foreign country driving around in a too small minivan on the wrong side of the road with a lot of road signs in Gaelic and hope that the nuclear family does not achieve fission? Maybe. We had a glorious trip. We managed to do all of the things, meet family, all of this stuff. But the thing that struck me when I got back, and every time that I take this guitar out of the case, for this guitar was sent home by my cousins who just met us in Northern Ireland with their American singer-songwriter cousins, so he would have something of his family to take with him. And I thought the first song that I wrote on this guitar ought to be something to honor those ancestors that brought us all into the world and brought us together. So I got to thinking about it around the holidays. Now, a lot of my family is from Scotland and from Northern Ireland, and we were there at the summer solstice, and we managed to convince my dad, who likes to eat at 5 o'clock every night, that as long as it was still light out, we weren't late for dinner. Which meant that a lot of nights we were eating at 9:30 or 10 o'clock because it was still light out. It was fantastic. I was actually in my room on the Orkney Islands the couple of nights we were there. I woke up at 3 a.m. and looked out my window, and there was the sun at 3 a.m., just this little ball on the horizon. And I thought, this is crazy. So when it came time to write a song on this guitar, it was pretty close to Christmas. And I was thinking, oh my God, it must be dark 18 hours a day there. Holy crap. And my people were common folk who did work in lead mines, worked on boats, worked in weaving for the linen industry around Belfast. I thought, my God, this is like before anybody gets paid holidays or anything like that. What in the world would get you through a season of darkness like that? How would you do it? Whatever possessed them to somehow find a way through those dark days to get to these long, beautiful days of summer? There were a few things that I thought about, and while this song does make reference to it, I do think that some of it was about finding ways to celebrate by singing. But they also seem to be really good at conjuring up another kind of spirit besides the holiday spirit too. So I couldn't resist adding that into the whole thing, a dram to the holidays. A flickering candle, cold window glass, brave and small in the dark. Its beam like a lighthouse on winter shores, guide me safe home in its glow. The wee ones aslumber deep in their beds, tucked close in a room much too small. Their dreams burn brightly, far more than they should have reason enough to believe. Lord, give them a reason to believe. So raise a dram to the holidays, long may they last, where hopes for the future dance with ghosts of the past, and hold tight to the best of what's been. We're still here at the holidays again. They come home off the water and home from the mines, with worried lines worn in their souls. But outside, the revelers filling the square, voices raise hymns up on high, proclaiming that Christmas is nigh. So raise a dram to the holidays, long may they last, where hopes for the future dance with ghosts of the past. Hold tight to the best of what's been. We're still here at the holidays again. The longest of nights gives way to the dawn. Its radiance christens the sea. There's sweets in the oven, a log on the fire, and an angel rests high on the tree. Blessed angel, keep watch over me. So raise a dram to the holidays, long may they last, where hopes for the future dance with ghosts of the past. Hold tight to the best of what's been. We're still here at the holidays. Raise a dram to the holidays, long may they last, where hopes for the future dance with ghosts of the past. Hold tight to the best of what's been. We're still here at the holidays. So, gathering up the lights, every place you can, the small lights, especially the small lights. I got a set of lights on my Christmas tree that are so environmentally unfriendly because they're old. You know, they probably use up 10 times the energy that they give off just in wastage. Probably the amount of energy I waste wrapping them around the damn tree. But there are those yellow, warm little lights, and they make all the ornaments shine just so. By the way, if you would like to see my tree, or if my music is helping you this morning, join me tonight in my living room. I can tell you more about that later on, but it's on my website. It's an annual holiday tradition. Because one of the hardest things about this time of year is for people to feel isolated. And man, have we spent way too much time being isolated the last 2.5 years, right? So if you want to come over to my house for the holidays tonight, I'll sing you a bunch of songs. You have to bring your own beverages. You can make your own hot cocoa. You can pour from your very best liquor cabinet. I don't really care. It's really the company we keep that matters this time of year. There's lots of things that people do to get through the season. My favorite happens to be the just get in the shower and let the water run on you for a while. That really seems to help. And it certainly seems to make my housemates, my wife and teenager, a whole lot happier because dad doesn't stink. But there's one thing about the season that comes kind of naturally and is the opportunities abound. And that is this time of year, it's always great to step outside of ourselves and help somebody else a little bit, right? This is a song that I've sung here a whole bunch of times, and I know that y'all know the words, but it seems particularly poignant during the season to think about how sometimes the little thing that we do, like smiling at some stranger walking down the street, just lending a hand, being kind to somebody for a moment, that you never have any idea of the impact of the little stone you roll down that hill. It's my grandmother's fault that I got sucked into the ancestry thing, and it's my grandmother's doing that I realized very many years after she pointed it out to me, that those little things really can add up to a whole lot more than the sum of their parts, especially if a whole lot of us do them. But maybe most especially at this time of year, don't lose faith that good things still and always matter. Rush hour traffic going nowhere. The merge becomes a contact sport. Frustration boiling over. Tempers growing short. The suited man bucks the trend at the toll booth, lets the grandmother in. He knows the people that we share the road with have loved ones waiting just like him. Good things matter. That's your part. Good things matter. Try it for me. Good things long after they're done. Good things. Each and every one. Good things. No matter how small. Good things matter to us all. What a beautiful thing to hear your voices this morning. Tear streaked boy behind a playground fence with teams picked, game in full swing. His braces hold him back from what his glasses show. He is not good at this thing, but the bigger boy who plays a game with natural skill and grace says, here's my bat, take my place. He knows the final score is more than runs across the plate. Get ready, y'all. by the pinch hitter's smiling face. Good things long after they're done. Good things, each and every one. Good things, no matter how small. Good things matter to us all. Linger for the old one's words. Let a child know she's been heard. Ask a wallflower to dance. Give mistakes a second chance. Smile at strangers on the street. Share the table where you eat. Leave the extra change behind. Fight fear, let color shine. Kind words to chase the gray. When things are hard, find a way. It all comes back someday. Good things long after they're done. Each and every one. Good thing, no matter how small. Good things matter to us. Good things matter. 3 more just like that. Good things matter. Thank you so much for making me welcome this morning, friends. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you.